All right, Island Youth, it's John here, back in the well this time. Today we're going to be going over how to set up the 11th floor for worship. So the first thing you need to know is how to turn on the lights. So if you don't know already, these are the lights for the whole well. If I press this, it all goes off. Oh, it all goes back on if I press back on. And the far lights are the little switches right there. These switches, once you have the lights on, the well is lit. We're gonna come back here into the sound booth. When you come to the sound booth, none of this is on yet. But before you do that, first thing you wanna do is grab the projector remote. The projector remote, you come right over here, it's the bent, however you pronounce that word right there, and you'll turn on the projector. As the projector turns on, also just double check that the display screen is on. The reason why we turn on the projector first is because the Mac system is designed to open up all the different apps when it starts up. So what you can go ahead and do now is there is the power button right on this back side of the Mac. Press that on to turn the Mac on. You can hear that. Give us a little bit more light here in the sound booth. And then in order to turn on the speakers, the stereo system, you're gonna come on under here and look for this little switch where there's a light. You can't really see it right now, but you can turn that on. The red light means power and the green line means not. It's gonna go and turn on all of these devices. Now, one of those devices is our soundboard. In order to turn on our soundboard, sometimes it'll turn on automatically if somebody didn't press this button on the back side. Power button's right there on the back side, so click that. And then you'll notice this light turns on and the whole soundboard is on now. For the lights, there's a similar switch on the back side. So you can turn that on. This device will start to turn on, but you'll notice that the lights won't turn on just yet unless you flip this switch. So we flip this switch back here, and then the lights should now have power. So it loaded a stage that was already on. The lights are now on. Then we can log in to the well computer. That password, just ask someone on staff how to log that in. So now this will start booting up Spotify, it'll boot up ProPresenter, it'll boot up all the apps that we need to then run on the projector. What we do next is come to the soundboard, and what you're gonna do is press scenes. So you're gonna press scenes here. You're gonna look for IY audio. You're gonna click that, and you're gonna click recall, continue, yes. Then what I tend to do here is move this back on to that. Which just makes it honestly, I don't know what it does. This is what I was always told, to turn off that custom. What I do is I mute the loop in the click, and then I take our track iPad, which I'll do a separate video here in a bit, where we will turn on how to edit the tracks. And so our track playback app should work fine. You can plug in the tracks, and then it should be able to play on the soundboard. We'll do a separate video on the details of the soundboard, detail of tracks, detail of lights, but I won't really necessarily do too much of a detailed video on Mac because it's pretty simple. For the Mac, once it's booted up, I'm gonna close all the different things like Steam and whatnot. Steam, for some reason, still loads automatically, which is kind of annoying, but that's okay. As we look at ProPresenter, it should automatically boot. So if you did it the way that I just did it, it should automatically boot with all of these ready to go. And if you click one of them, it'll already go on stage. So it should already be set up. But when you are kind of the first ones in for the day, you might want to just double check that it's all working. If it's not working, always save all and quit ProPresenter. That's always something that's helpful. For example, if the stage display is not working, sometimes that'll help. If somebody had used the iMac and it had gone to, say somebody had used the iMac and they've gone into the system preferences and they had merged all the displays together, that will mess up ProPresenter sometimes. And so sometimes you want to just close it out, turn it back on. What you do is find the songs that you need for the day, boot them up here, and then it should work fine. Yeah, it should work. One thing to note here is that oftentimes I like to go into Window and Stage Display Preview just so I can see what is on the stage display. So you'll want to walk over and double check that that works, or if somebody else is here, can talk with them to make sure it's open. One other detail is just if you see two options for a song, so the Jesus Way default or the Jesus Way. What had happened is when some students had made the display screen for us, they did it with a different display screen option. So if you do that one where it's all caps, they won't actually have the words on the default stage display screen. So you'd have to change it to worship display screen, and then it would change. But if you were then to go to a default song where it's not like that, now it has the words in Home Lunch, which that's how most of the songs are set up. So what I tend to do is just keep it on default, and those few songs that were made, I made a default. So probably should just get rid of the other ones because we're probably not going to keep it. So I might do that, and this video instruction here will be useless, but that's okay. And then for the Mac, use Spotify, click the songs to play. Really not much for you to note here. The main things are pretty much already done. Honestly, I just kind of riffed this video real quick. I'll go into more detail on the other things, but the main things are where the lights are, turn on the projector, turn on the iMac, turn on the sound system, plug in the track iPad, turn on the lights. Everything else is just running the things. That's mainly how you turn everything on. Only other note, just where people are in the tech booth, is how to turn on and off the lights in the sound booth. There's all countdown and off. So that really is it. Hope this was helpful for somebody someday if they're really struggling to figure out how to turn everything on in here. That's really just how to turn everything on, get everything set up, and we'll run through some other things in a moment. Thank you.